Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. It's been a while, but I have been promising you guys that I'm gonna do a video. So here I am. First of all, like always, I want to welcome all the new subscribers. I see you guys subscribing, so thank you so much. It means a lot to me, I mean it. Every time I see that number growing, I remind myself that I have more work to do, more videos to do, and I remind myself that I am helping more people. So yeah, that's what actually really gets me going. So today we are gonna talk about how to be a confident nurse or student nurse. Because there are times where we doubt ourselves. There are times where in the process of our learning, because learning is for life, right? So you hear about the terminology of lifelong learning. And there are times where we just feel like we're not good enough as nurses. Maybe you make a small mistake and you just kind of like beat yourself up for it. So this video is going to help you to start to get out of those little habits, get to know yourself a bit better as a nurse, and allow yourself to have moments where you learn, because that's what it's all about. So first point we're going to talk about is allowing yourself to learn from your mistakes, right? So it's like when a mistake happens, right? We're going to say something minor. Say, for example, you forget that a patient was meant to go for a CT scan, and then the porters are there, they're ready to bring your patient, and you don't have your stuff ready, you don't have your things together organized, and it makes you look bad. It's like one of those embarrassing moments where you're like, can I get this together? Can I actually get this together? But it's better that happens to you and you learn from it. What I see sometimes happen is that some nurses will forever be like that. You will always have to chase after them. If you're ever in charge as a nurse, you're gonna always, if you can relate, please comment in the section below. If you've ever been in charge and there's that one particular nurse that you know that you're gonna have to remind a few times. They may be going through stuff, so we're not judging, but it's like, you don't wanna be that nurse. You want to be that nurse who has their stuff together. You want to be able to literally, like, after handover, you know who's the sickest patient, you know what procedures are coming. Literally what I used to do, I used to actually use it when I was helping nurses improve their skills and their time management. I actually made out this kind of like sheet where this is what I used to do, and then it ended up actually helping other nurses. Like, it was so crazy for me. I was like, I thought everybody did this, like, it, you know. So what I used to do was, like, I'd put like columns. So I'd go like sickest, and I'd put like the abbreviations of the patient. I'd put procedures. I'd put like abbreviation, what procedure they're for and what time. And like in the right order, so like I know this is gonna come first, this is gonna come first. So whoever is gonna be collected at like 9 o'clock, I need to make sure that I communicate with the care assistants, or like, yeah, so that we like basically plan to make sure that that person gets their wash first, that they get sat out of bed first, because like the job never ends. But if you can like organize yourself and prioritize. So I used to have, so it was the sickest, then I'd have procedures, then I would have IV antibiotics. So basically whoever's on like IV medication, so whoever was on IV paracetamol, IV augmentin, IV Taz, gentamicin, meropenem, and some antibiotics you need to have levels, so blood levels are taken. That used to be like a hindrance. If you haven't got your levels back, you can't give it, because you need to know how much needs to be prescribed. Some antibiotics that need levels can be so annoying, because literally it's like, you not only can you not give it until the level comes back, you have to wait until the level comes back, and then it has to be documented. I think it makes sense that it's the same everywhere, unless there was some other country that probably had like a range, that if it's in this range you give this, like pre-prescribed, like the way insulin is pre-prescribed. Like there's levels that if it's this number then you can give this amount of insulin. I wish they did that with antibiotics, but I digress. So I'd have that list, and literally after handover, I would know what I need to do first, because they teach you about prioritization. Prioritize your care. You hear that all the time in nursing school. Theory, but theory and practice, they ain't always the same. So I had to kind of like learn the hard way, as with all nurses, I feel, unless you're lucky enough to get a really good mentor, like a nurse who's worked in a unit for a long time, and then you're newly graduated and you go under their wing and they help you and like they take you as their protege. Like, if you have somebody like that, listen, you are blessed, because some of us didn't, and we had to learn it the hard way. But you know what, it makes you tougher and it makes you stronger and it makes you want to learn more. Like, if you have an embarrassing moment as a nurse, you should be like telling yourself, this is not going to happen again. Not on my watch. I'm going to make sure this doesn't happen again. That is the best attitude to help improve your confidence as a nurse, because you need that confidence. So learning from your mistakes, that's the first. Second thing is communication. You will be an amazing and confident nurse if you value good communication. Good and effective communication, because I feel like many of the biggest issues that happen in the medical field is from poor communication. All these errors, like wrong surgical site, wrong patient, all these things is due to poor communication in general. Because if you value communication, you're going to make sure that even if other professionals are not pulling their end, you're going to do your part to make sure that you communicate effectively with them. So like, for example, ISBAR, I'm sure you all know, is a really good communication tool. I feel like it's mostly used for deteriorating patients, but I feel like it can be used in many ways. So like ISBAR, identification, saying your name, who you are and what your profession is. Situation, what the situation is. This is happening. This patient has a high blood sugar. Background, they have a history of type 1 diabetes. They are on Lantus, long-acting, and they're on Novorapid. So background assessment, I've just taken their blood sugars and it's sky high. It's like 22. I need you to come and review them. So yeah, recommendation, I need you to come and review them, because I feel like we need to either adjust the insulin levels, or if we're not really sure, get a diabetics like clinical nurse specialist to review this patient. I feel like using that like acronym ISBAR, I feel like it's helped me a lot in improving my communication, making sure that it's effective and that it's going to yield the best results. Because at the end of the day, you want your communication to yield the results that you need, that is going to improve the safety of your patient. When you improve your communication skills, everyone can see that, and then everyone starts to catch on. Because like they say, you teach others how to respect you. So if you are having good communication, you're listening, you're not cutting them off every 5 seconds, giving them the information that they need, you're nodding, you're kind of like reassuring. So like if they say something, you can be like, okay, so what I hear you say is you're gonna come in the next 30 minutes to review this patient and look at their insulin. And then he'll be like, or she'll be like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That way you are not just assuming that this is what you heard. You're saying it back to the person, and then that can help you. Like if there's an error, if you've just like misheard them, they'll be able to correct you, and they'll be like, no, actually I meant 25 minutes, or I meant 10 minutes, you know? So like having like really effective communication skills as a nurse, I feel will make you more confident. You will appear more confident. You're gonna be like badass, you know? So communication is very, very, very important. And I know they stress it a lot, but yeah, that is one of the ways it's gonna improve your confidence as a nurse. The third thing that's gonna improve your confidence as a nurse is not being afraid of confrontation, right? We try to avoid confrontation at all costs. Like that's what we're supposed to try to do. You're supposed to be able to get along with everybody in the best capable way. Is that gonna always happen though? No. That's not gonna happen all the time, but you can't be afraid of confrontation. I have had to learn that, because at the end of the day, if as a nurse you absolutely love what you do, if as a nurse when you wake up in the morning you're like, I am literally dragging myself out of bed to go and make sure that I make a difference in someone's life, you have to make sure that you do that. You will have family members against you, you'll have other healthcare professionals against you, sometimes, not always, sometimes, but at the end of the day, you are the patient's advocate. If you can really stress that in your mind and be like, at the end of the day, it's in the best interest of the patient that I do this. So if you see abuse whereby a family member is just, I don't know, some sort of verbal abuse to the patient, or is a bit manipulative, or you can kind of see financial abuse or something like that, you can't be oh, I'm not gonna be part of that. I've got enough work, I'm not gonna get involved. Guess what? You're not being a good nurse, and actually you're defying your duty as a nurse, because you can't just allow things to just go on like that. Now, that's why I'm saying you can't just avoid confrontation. You can't, because at the end of the day, in that case, you need to speak up. Because at the end of the day, if there is abuse going on, the medical social worker needs to be involved, the management needs to be involved. There has to be some sort of safeguarding inquiry put in, because it's not you being, how do I put it? It's not you going out of your way to just cause drama. It's you protecting the vulnerable. You're protecting someone who can't help themselves because of some social background there, or anything else. It could just be frailty. So it's really important to not be afraid of confrontation, as long as you know that what you're doing is in the interest of the patient, and you've got the policies and procedures to stand by you. And as a professional, you know ethically that what you're seeing is not right. You need to speak up. It may cause a confrontation, but guess what? Ethically, you've done what's right. So don't be afraid of confrontation. If you know that you're standing up, and the same goes with bullying in the workplace. If you see someone being treated wrongly, whether it's whatever it may be, whether it's a manager bullying a nurse, you need to speak up, because sometimes these things happen. People abuse power, and ethically, you have to do the right thing. So that's one thing that's going to make you confident. Confrontation is not pleasant, but we are patient advocates. We do have to stand up for our patients, and dignity at work. You have to make sure that nobody is being made to feel unhappy in work, because at the end of the day, everybody has a right to dignity. Every single person, no matter who they are, they have a right to dignity, and they have a right to a good working environment. So that is the third thing. The fourth thing that's going to make you a more confident nurse is good documentation. So what does that mean? Oftentimes as a nurse, you may get a call from your manager. Say something happens, right? There's a complaint from the family. There's always family complaints. And then your manager, of course, now has to do a lot of paperwork, has to go through the complaints procedure, and then you get a phone call and you're at home because your notes are not very clear. It doesn't look good. If you want to be a more confident nurse, guess what? Make sure that your notes are on point. I'm going to do a separate video about clinical documentation, but if your notes are on point, it's like a game changer. It's an absolute game changer, because you are recording the care that you're providing in real time. You're signing it off, full signature. It's a legal document. You're basically doing your job properly, and you can be confident, because at the end of the day, even if it's a mistake, you're going to document it. If a mistake happens, they don't look just at the mistake, they look at what you did after it. So documentation is so important because it makes you stand out from other people. If you're one of those people who just has like a small paragraph like this, of what you've done all day to care for a patient, that's not going to stand to you. You're going to be one of those people who gets phone calls a lot if something happens. But if you're one of those people who doesn't have to write an article but has like a substantial amount written, but it's all in real time, like morning, afternoon, evening, your notes are going to stand out. And I'm so grateful to the preceptors that I had when I was a student, because that's what I was taught as a student, and it just stuck with me all these years. So the fourth thing is, make sure your documentation is really good. It's not about it being like amazingly written, like it's not an essay competition, but it's making sure that it's factual, it's chronological, and it's unambiguous. They're the main qualities that you're looking for in clinical documentation. So the fifth thing that's going to make you a more confident nurse is having the mindset of always being better than the person you were yesterday, right? It's like it's a mindset to have, an ambitious mindset, I'm going to improve every single day. I'm trying to like articulate it in the best way. Having like short-term goals and long-term goals, career goals, short-term, long-term career goals. So short-term career goal can be something as simple as, I'm going to make sure that I improve on my handover. I'm going to make sure that I improve on my documentation in the next 2 weeks. I'm like going to work on it. Then the long-term goal might be, in 2 years' time, I'm going to apply for a postgraduate. Just a small postgraduate course. Even just like one module, doesn't have to be a diploma, just one module. When you have that, it keeps you going in your career, honestly, because it makes you realize that you're not going to always stay stagnant in one place. It makes you view your career as a journey and not a destination, if that makes sense. And then work becomes fun that way, and you're more confident. And if you're happy in work, you're gonna be more confident. Like, just be happy in work, because at the end of the day, you love what you do. I know nursing is a stressful job. The clinical environment is like super busy. Like, if you can't explain it to somebody who hasn't been in it, literally. You can't, like, if you're talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, I've been there, I was visiting my friend, it's different. It's different when you're working and when you're just visiting, because you just, if you know, if you're a nurse or a student nurse, you just know. So you need to be happy in work. And I think what makes you happy in work is when you have those ambitions, short-term, long-term, and when you feel confident. So let me know in the comment section below other things that you do to make you a more confident nurse. If you like this video and want to see more videos like this, please like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notification so that you will be notified every time I do a video. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.